That One Time I Met Part 2.
Welcome
Stan
back
Lee.
to part 2 of that one time. I thought I was facing King Hippo, but anyway, this is the time that I met Stan Lee. So like I said in part 1, when I met my buddy Leo DiCaprio on Inception, I was doing extra work in Hollywood, and I got cast to be an extra on Iron Man Part 2, and I was a party guest at the Stark Expo where they were having all the people. It was like a little party, so it was a whole bunch of people dressed up, and I'm up there, and Robert Downey Jr. was up there, and he had this vest on, and this vest, it was like a camera attached to it so that the camera was looking right in his face, so it was like a first-person view when he's walking down the steps. And then this old guy comes in, older white dude, and I was like, who is that? Because he had handlers around him. And I'm like, oh my God, that's Stan Lee. I start losing my shit. I start tripping out. And the girl that I was with up there, she's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? I'm like, it's him. He's real. She's like, who is he? Who is that guy? I'm like, that's Stan Lee. She's like, who's Stan Lee? I'm like, what? That's the father of Marvel. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be working here tonight. And as soon as she found out that he was a somebody, she runs over to him and she's like, oh, Mr. Lee, I'm such a huge fan. I'm like, this dirty ass, if you don't knock it off. And I'm mad, and I start like walking over there. But she did me a solid though. I got to give it to her. She did me a huge solid. She was like, Mr. Lee, I want you to meet somebody. And she grabs me by the hand and takes me over to meet him. And I was like, hi, Mr. Lee, I'm a huge fan. And he's like, hi, Jeff, I'm Stan. And before he introduced himself, it was like time slowed down. Like I remember the day that I was born, there was angels singing like oh in the background, and somewhere there was like the overpowering smell of cinnamon. I don't know. And then I'm thinking like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Ask him something special. And I remember that I had the Hulk DVD, the first Hulk with Eric Banner, the one that everybody hated. I kind of liked it, but I was watching the deleted scenes on that, and so I was like, Mr. Lee, is it true that when you made the Hulk, that he was supposed to be gray? And he was like, let me tell you a story, Jeff. No cap, like 300, 400 people surround me and Stan Lee, and he's like, funny story. When we were trying to print the Hulk up, the ink kept on coming out green. There was like a problem with the ink, and it kept on coming out green. And I figured, what the heck? We don't have a green superhero. The Hulk is going to be green, but that's just me and your secret. And he winks at me. Stan Lee winked at me. My soul comes out of my body and I float away just like in heaven. And this hater tried to bring me down. I'm floating away and he's like, do you know who that was? I was like, yeah, Stan Lee. And he was like, yeah, but do you know who he is? I'm like, yeah, that's Father Marvel. Like, why do you think I was over there talking to him? He was just mad because he didn't get to talk to the living legend. Rest in peace. But anyway, yeah. After that, wardrobe, they were taking pictures, and I was with two other black dudes, and the wardrobe photographer person came up, and he's like, hey, homies. I'm like, homies? I'm like, what? And like the one dude he was on my left. I don't know his name, but the one dude on the left, he was like, he gave me a look like don't say anything. I'm like, what? And then so the three of us take a picture, and right before he snapped the picture, this motherfucker said, what's the charge? No bullshit. They have this picture out there somewhere, and I guarantee you my mouth is dropped open like, what the, are you serious? And they take the picture, and I'm looking at the other two dudes, and they were like house ninjas, like, don't talk back to Massa now. You know they don't like a smart ninja. I was like, nah, fuck that. I gotta say something. So I ended up, this dude is fucking me up. So I ended up talking to the director, and like, long story short, like, it was like, he told me to get over it, you know? So Hollywood is so fucked up. But anyway, yeah, that's the time I met Stan Lee. Make sure to subscribe, and cause the next one is gonna be about the time that I didn't meet Will Smith, but I was standing like 2 feet away from him, and he didn't slap me, thank God. But no, I had a precognitive dream. I had a psychic dream the night before I saw Will Smith and was standing next to him. No bullshit. Have a nice day. I gotta fight this great tiger. Have a nice day.